Hi, my name is Shannon Johnson. I'm CEO of RecruitMe. I'm a Division II softball player here in the Sunshine State Conference in South Florida. I had the great opportunity of playing overseas in Australia for an entire summer for Team USA. After my trip, I did a lot of thinking and took into consideration what some of these girls said. After competing in the state tournament for the Women's Softball League in Australia, I was able to talk and make connections with some of these players after the games. A lot of them said that they only played this as a club sport and didn't receive a college education that I did. And that took me by surprise, so they would play their games and then go to the real job right after. RecruitMe gives the opportunity to these women to come overseas to America, showcase their skills in front of college coaches in the NCAA softball, and then eventually get the college education they want, study what they want to get a real job, play in America at a high level, and keep up a healthy lifestyle. So moving on to the scope of this project, the end result of RecruitMe is to ensure that the athlete is recruited and communicating with a variety of American schools to eventually enroll in a full-time college education and a roster spot with NCAA softball. In order to have the best experience with RecruitMe, the athlete must attend a 3-week trip to one of our headquarters in America and compete in a variety of clinics and tournaments to showcase their skills. Before the girls attend the trip, there will be emails sent out to specific coaches that the players are interested in based on their contact information and what they provide us. So the players will pay a fee for plane tickets, uniform, meals, transportation, and hotel, and other convenience fees. But we pick out where they're going to eat, stay, and we take care of their plane tickets. The activities that are not included in RecruitMe is comparing and sending test scores, transcripts, and actually applying to the schools once they are recruited. The key stakeholders of this project is me, the owner. My email is right here, recruitme@au@gmail.com, as well as Dr. Charles Barr here at Lynn. He's also the co-owner. Email cbar@lynn.edu. USA Athletes International is our partner. Email CEOs Dottie and Daryl at usaai.org. And another one of our sponsors is NCAA. The link is in our website to go to their site. So with our project comes a couple of risks. This is only pertaining to the players, but it eventually affects our profit. But the risks is the affordability. Can these players in Australia afford the fee that we are asking them to pay in order to get this experience? Again, the athlete's athletic ability and academic eligibility. So we have to know, are you capable of playing softball at this high level that they would like to play? Maybe they aren't academically eligible and won't be able to get into these schools. So that's what's taken into consideration before they even are starting to be recruited. We calculated the monthly expenses for this project. It is paying for the field, umpire fees, renting gyms for clinics, field expenses, gym rentals, and food for tournaments when we cater, and also field equipment. There are no recurring expenses for this project. Part of our lessons learned is that we decided that it was going to be hard to, or unfair to accept these girls into the program after they submit us a survey and pay a fee, because again, we have to check their athletic and academic eligibility. So a solution that we made was that once you complete the survey and send us your video and stuff on the website, we'll then take it a step further, ask for your transcripts, send it to part of NCAA Eligibility Center. They'll go through it, make sure your GPA is set, you have the right requirements like a high school diploma, and then we will be set and ready to go and look at your skills video, determine if you can play softball at this high level, and take it from there. As I slightly covered before, a bunch of our requirements are that they're NCAA eligible, meaning never got in trouble with the law, academically eligible, and that we don't take any red shirts. So the RecruitMe work breakdown structure, our employees do not exceed a 50-hour work week in this package, but they must exceed 5 hours of work. They include field management, catering, tournament, hospitality, also including tournament coaching, trip planning staff, and networking staff. So in our work breakdown dictionary, it first starts off with the field management team. So they're in charge of showing up before the first game, putting the lines on the field, dragging the field, watering the field. In between games, they're on ball duty, so foul balls, they have to go get them, and just managing the fields in between games so they're up to par in between games. Another branch of our staff is going to be the coaching staff. So as I said before, they're going to be qualified alumni that we already put through the system. They're just in charge of making sure the girls have a fun time while playing the sport they love, not putting too much impact in, but just making sure the game runs smoothly. Requirements for our coaches that we will have at these tournaments: they will have to have already played 4 years at an American university or an alumni of a university coach. Another branch of our staff is the trip planning staff. So once we qualify a player, they're going to look through, get their passport information, anything they need to book the flight, book the hotels, are in charge of putting that together neatly, then sending out a copy to that team for the week, and making sure everything's organized and ready to go. So actually our networking staff is going to be a bunch of girls who I actually played with. So they're in charge of just advertising Recruit Me, kind of like recruits, but they're going to recruit college coaches to then participate and advertise Recruit Me, maybe get them to come see a showcase. Alongside our field management team, on site is also our greeting team / tournament committee. They're in charge of keeping up with the field maintenance, so this means bathrooms, snack stands. They're in charge of greeting clients, merchandise, wristbands, entrance fees, and just answering any questions, and basically just customer service. Before a game, the field management staff, this is a schedule, they're just going to have to come out about 30 to 45 minutes before a game, make sure the fields are all ready, and then they're going to have to stay that duration, so that can be an 8-hour day, obviously exceeding the 5-hour work package that we talked about. The management plan is very detailed, so in order for Recruit Me to have the successful practice, all the activities must be done in this order. So the applicant will submit the deposit that they have to do in order to take the survey. The NCAA approves the academic and athletic eligibility. I myself will approve the player, their skills video. The travel staff will obtain the required information for the flights. Travel staff plans information, and client is known of the trip details, sent via email and a hard copy through the mail. This is like week 5 after they sign up. So then the client will arrive in the U.S., travel tour guide greets them, so this is week 21 basically. It takes a long time for this all to add up. The field managers will set up the field for game day upon scheduled game days. Tournament staff assembles and prepares the field, and travel staff connects client with college coaches after all softball and clinics are completed. Part of the procurement plan, travel-wise, we supply them with plane tickets, hotel rooms for the 3 nights they're here, bus transportation, meals, and of course, uniforms. For the showcases and clinics, part of the procurement plan, these objects that we're going to need, obviously a gator to drag the field in between, chalkers, dusters, spray paint the bases. We're going to need a few tents on site just to keep the shade. We're going to need a bunch of snacks, merchandise, obviously softballs, so many cases of softballs, and that's it. Last part of the procurement plan is the quality requirements. These are going to be held by me, the project manager and CEO. So my job is to make sure, I'm going to walk around during showcase times, make sure everything's running smoothly, introduce myself to college coaches just to keep a friendly relationship. Also, towards the end of the trip, I hold a dinner, like kind of more formal, for all the girls to get together with some college coaches. Maybe last minute communications can be held, and it's just to enforce like the company's values one more time and maybe spread it to other people. Moving on to the risk management plan. So part of our risk register, we have 3 factors: design, time, and budget risk. So the design risk is obviously the website and further social media. So if there's a glitch in the social media, this could delay communication, mess up information. So a solution we did to this is either move to a better program or fix these glitches immediately when they occur. Another factor contributing to the design risk is the lack of gym and field permits. So if these get messed up or they aren't sure, that's going to be at my expense as CEO. So my job is I'm going to hold meetings prior, just check-ins, just to make sure that we still have the gyms and fields that we assigned for, because if we don't and we lose them, our clients have nowhere to play and showcase. The next factor is the time risk. We said that it's going to be unrealistic deadlines, so if our staff isn't on time, or we set an unrealistic time for a game, maybe weather delays, this can mess up the whole process again, and this is at the expense of all staff. Our risk response for this one is going to be making sure that all staff is bound into a contract saying they will be earlier than on time. One of our biggest risks in time risk is going to be the travel delays. So if we have a delay in flight, or something goes wrong, a flight cancellation, or someone misses a flight, that's a huge time risk, and this is why we book flights 4 days prior to these girls showcasing, so everything's planned out evenly, and that would be our risk response. Another risk response that we recently added was travel insurance. So if a flight gets delayed or you miss a flight, you pay a little extra fee just to get insured that you will not lose your whole money and you can get on the next flight. So the last risk we have is a budget risk. This budget risk can be refunds, allowing refunds at the expense of everyone, so our profit is taken away from refunds. And the risk response to this is assigning a contract that there are no refunds allowed once you pay the deposit. So as far as the risk approach and monitoring, it's my job as CEO and project manager just to check in, as I said before, to all these risk responses and make sure everything runs smoothly, checking in with my employees, making sure everyone is doing a good job and really has the company's values at heart. Communication management plan. Our stakeholder engagement is going to be held by me once a month, once every 2 months. We're going to set up a nice little brunch and we're going to have all of our stakeholders involved, our sponsors involved. And a way to engage them is by, say, for example, USSI, they send the athletes from USA to other international locations. We're going to market them and have their merchandise set out. And then maybe for NCAA, as one of our sponsors, we're going to have famous softball players, Lauren Chamberlain, Jenny Finch, anyone you can really name at some of these tournaments, and really get them to advertise NCAA and speak NCAA softball values. So some of these girls who are international can look up to these players and say, I can aspire to be one of them. Also, we're going to have stakeholder meetings just to make sure everyone's still in check and buying in. And we're going to have informal communication through emails, Skype, phone calls. Last but not least, our website. As you can see up here, it's home, the SDGs, contact us, sign up, and NCAA softball link. So this is the front cover. You scroll down, you can click on coaches or players. It's a picture of me and my roster. Something about Meet the Founder and why we were created. Just some marketing, advertising strategies. Again, start showcasing today. Our headquarters, where we're located here in South Florida, and this right here is where everyone's going to want to sign up with name, email, subject, and message. But right here, if you click, you're going to have our SDGs up. Our goals, your future. So you click this little arrow over here, and it has a link to our sustainable development goals, our SDGs. And ours is number 3, good health and well-being. We also have the SDG number 4, sustainable development goal, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning and opportunities for all. So these are the really 2 SDGs that stand out in our presentation.
I'm very fortunate to be able to play softball here at Lynn while also receiving an education. It's my 2 main jobs. The reason I'm here is to get good grades and is to show up to practice and to play. So all my days are planned out. We either wake up and we go to conditioning or we go to weights, and then we have, a 2 to 3 hour practice depending, and then I have classes for the rest of the day. And then after my classes, it leaves me time for homework. For one, it makes us work out every day of the week, which I was never doing before I came here. After weights, they supply us with protein, so it's helping our muscles recover. And we have a calf that offers so many different options. Softball has also helped me be more mentally aware and mentally strong between our running tests that we have twice a year. Another opportunity I get here as a Lynn softball player is that we have a sports psychologist. He can meet with anyone or he can meet with any team. For softball, he meets with us in a group setting, and we talk about how practice is going, how we're meshing, how we're getting along, and I even meet with him on my own time to talk about personal issues. You can talk to him about anything that's going on in your life, or you can talk about your mental game. I chose to talk to him about my confidence up at bat, and just from a few sessions I could tell that he's really helping.
Now that you know RecruitMe's values and goals, can you tell me how this can be beneficial to you as a player?
I can. So the recruitment process was a lot harder for me back then. Honestly, for me, I didn't use a website or anything. So for me to actually be able to notice how RecruitMe actually changes people's perspective of recruitment and how the coaches can actually find the students and the students can actually find the coaches, I think it's a little bit easier and it makes it a lot more stress less.